Namaste and welcome to React Bits. In this tutorial, we are going to learn to get started with Flutter for web. So, first thing you need to understand is Flutter for web is no different than Flutter that we have been doing so far with mobile applications. So we use the same code base, we use the same application, just there are few differences and few changes. So first thing, Flutter for web is still in beta, so it's only available in the beta channel or dev or master channel. So if you are on the stable channel, you will not be able to follow with this tutorial. So first, how to switch from stable channel to beta channel. So if you run Flutter Doctor, you can see the details of your Flutter installation. So I am in Flutter, channel is stable, version 1.17.5 on Linux. In stable channel, we are not able to do Flutter web. So how to change from stable channel to beta or master or dev channel? So it's very simple. What you can do is you can run Flutter channel beta. Okay, so if you run this command, your Flutter installation will switch to beta channel. However, for me it's a problem because I work on numerous production applications that I run through stable channel, so I do not like to switch channel every now and then between projects. What happens during switching channel is you'll have to re-download the Flutter SDK and build the Flutter tooling, so it will take quite some time, and it will take even more time if you are on the slow internet. So instead, I have multiple instances of Flutter set up in my system. So I have an alias set up for my different instances. So what I can do, I have an alias set up in Flutter B. If I do Flutter B Doctor, then it shows me that I am in channel beta version 1.19.0-4.3.3 on Linux. Right. So you can do this, or you can also use FVM Flutter package to set up multiple instances of Flutter, or for now you can just switch to beta channel or master channel or dev channel in order to start with Flutter web. Next, let me switch to my application directory. Next, once you switch the channel, what you need to do is you need to enable web so that you can start working with web. Now, if you create a Flutter project, so if you see now, there is also a web directory along with Android and iOS directory in our project. Let me open with Visual Studio Code. You can see now there is a web directory, and we have main.dart. That's the normal file with any other project setup. If we are using only mobile, only from stable channel, we get the same project. So there is not much change here. However, next thing you need to remember is that not all the plugins have web support yet. So more and more new plugins are adding web support, but not all of them have web support enabled. Now, when you are using beta channel, you'll get the devices Chrome. So in order to run on web, you get web server and Chrome as two new devices listed on your devices, so that you will not only be able to use emulators but also Chrome. So switch the device to Chrome, and in main.dart press F5. So this will launch live main.dart on Chrome in debug mode. Take some time to build. It's running, and you can see the same Flutter demo that we get when we are using stable channel for mobile apps. And this project with the same code without any changes runs on Android and iOS as well. Right. So we have Flutter Web running. So in this part, we will develop a simple restaurant menu system. So imagine you are developing a web page for your restaurant and you want to show your restaurant menu in your application. So we'll be doing that in this tutorial. First, let me get rid of this counter demo application. My app, and this should return material app title restaurant menu home menu page. Let's make menu page. Alright, so now we can get started with the menu page. So first, what I'd like to do is add a scaffold and body. Let's add list view. Restaurant menu and app bar. So what I'd like to do is, if we are on web, I would like to hide the app bar, but if we are on mobile, I would like to show the app bar. So there is a constant called k is web. So it is imported from Foundation, Flutter Foundation. If k is web, if it is web, then I don't want to show the app bar. Otherwise, this, and this text I would only like to show it if it is web. Alright, and let's give this a style. Let us also give some padding. (16 points). Okay, so I'd like to create a simple menu item widget. menu item wizard. This will consist of a card, and card will have a child list style. Leading will contain leading, leading should consist of circle avatar. Let's give it a radius of, let's say, 40. Child background image should be network image URL. Okay, here let's create a URL. Now title, text. Let's also create a item model. So here create a constructor. Here we also need item model item. So title will be title and subtitle will be text. Item dot ingredients dot join by slash, and trailing will be text. Item dot price slash dollar. So we'll show the image, title and price. So background image, if URL not equal to null, then we'll show the image, otherwise we'll use null. Okay, so we have our menu item. Let's try to display it here. Item model title, let's say pizza, and ingredients, let's say tomato, and URL for now let's leave it as it is. So you can see we can see our pizza here, and price, let's say 10. So price will be $10. Let's style these a bit. So for price, let's give a style font weight bold, font size 16, colors red, maybe 18. All right, so we can see our item here. And one more thing, subtitle, if not equal to null, then we do this, otherwise null. If not null, we display that. Let's try another item. And let's remove the ingredients. It should work. Price, let's say $8. Instead of list style, let's change this to our own widgets. Let's use row and children. First circle avatar, then expanded child, column children, and here we'll add title and subtitle. Here we'll check if this is not null, then we would like to display this. And finally trailing. Okay, this should do. We need to add padding. Wrap with padding 8 is fine, or symmetric horizontal 0.0, vertical 8.0. Great. Column cross axis alignment dot stretch, right, and let's give it a distance of 10 points, and title should be okay. And here triple dots, and let's give this a container width 40, and text should have center. Okay, it is coming along. We have our menu item. Now let's use some image from the internet. Let's try let's search for food items here. Or instead let's search for fast food, right? So let's check this copy image address, and one of this, let's use item model. In item model we need new string image, this dot image, and instead of this URL, what we need to do is we need to use item.image. Image. All right, so in item let's pass image string this. Let's check here. So our image is displayed. For tomato soup, let's use another image. Oh, okay, we have a pizza. Copy image address. So let me replace this, and in tomato soup let me use okay. So we have our menu item that we can display. Let's make a few different copies so that we have few different items listed here. And in this, if k is web, again let's use this. So three dots, height, let's give 20. Okay, now we have our menu item. However, the problem with this is that if I make this web page whole, this menu item will be expanded to complete the whole page. But this is not what I want. What I want to do is, if we are on large display, I want to display this in multiple columns, and if we are on small display, I want to display this in single column like this. So for that we need some responsiveness in our design. So in order to make it responsive, I'll use one package called responsive builder. So in dependencies, let's add, let's see, responsive builder. Installing. Let's add responsive builder. There are other plugins and packages as well for making your design responsive in Flutter. For now, I'm choosing to use responsive builder. And if you check their README uses, what we can use is we can use a responsive builder widget that will give us the sizing information. And sizing information will give things like device screen type, okay. So let's wrap our body with responsive builder. Let's check the README. Responsive builder, it will give us context, size info, and let's import this. Okay, let's get the packages, responsive builder, and let's import this. For now, we don't see any changes because we are not using the size info. Let me change this to block body. So let's just print the size info for now. Info dollar dot, let's print the device screen type. Let's also print the inside list view. Let's also print the screen size. Now if I change this size, it moved to tablet and this moved to desktop. So what I would like to do is, when we are on desktop, I'd like to switch to 2 column or 3 column based on the size. For that, instead of using list view, we would rather use grid view. So if we use grid view, we can change the number of columns when our size changes. So instead of returning list view, here I would return grid view. And for this to work, I will make certain adjustments. Here I'll make list of items, and this will be, let's make a copy of our item model from here, 1, and next item model, this, and let's make copies of this so that we have multiple item models. Okay, now we have list of items. Usually this list of items comes from the API. For now I'm just hard coding it. And in grid view, what we'll use is grid delegate. So with fixed cross-axis count. Cross-axis count for now 1. Cross-axis spacing, let's use 10. Main axis spacing, let's use 10. And grid view has, we need to use builder, and it has item builder, we get context and index, index, menu item, okay. So this is what we have. Let's keep padding. child aspect ratio. If we do 1.0, we have the same aspect ratio. Let's use 4.0. So out of range, we need to give item count, items dot length, now let us make few adjustments to our menu item widget. So in menu item widget, let's make this main axis size dot min, so that this text will be centered. Okay, looking quite good now. Now what we would like to do is change the number of column based on the screen size. All right, so let's check the sizing info. Size info dot is desktop. If it's desktop, then column, let's say 3, otherwise 1. Okay, so when we go to tablet, nothing happens. When we go to desktop, then we have 3 columns, and this stretches to 3 columns. See, 1 column, 3 column. Also in desktop, what I'd like to do is I'd like to check the size, width, and decide whether to use 2 columns, 3 columns, or 4 columns. All right, so if desktop, if size info dot screen size dot width is greater than, let's say 1400, then we make it 4, and info dot screen size dot width is greater than 1200, then we make it 3, otherwise we make it 2. Okay, if we do this now, when I go from tablet to desktop, first it will go to 2 column, then when I increase size, it will go to 3 column, and finally if I increase to the full width, it will go to 4 column. So this way our menu is responsive. Based on the screen width, it is decided whether to use 1 column, 2 column, or 3 column. Maybe we can even use 2 columns with tablet. So is tablet then 2, otherwise 1. If we do this, if we go to tablet, we have 2 column, and desktop 2 column, 3 column, and 4 column. Maybe we'll stick to 1 column on tablet as well. Alright, so first we'll check if desktop. If it is desktop and screen size is greater than 1400, then we make it 4 columns. If screen width is greater than 1200, we make it 3 column, otherwise we make it 2 column, and in mobile we make it 1 column. Now our list view had this title when it was web. We do not see that here, so let's cut this from here. Let's remove this list view as we no longer require this. Delete. And in grid view, let's wrap this with column, and let's make this expanded. and here let's use this, and this should be before the text, and cross-axis alignment dot stretch. Okay, and I think this needs padding. Wrap with padding. Only left 16, top 20, so that we no longer require this size. Okay, if you see the code now, so if we run on web, if it's running on web, that is k is web will be true. This is provided by default by Flutter. If it is true, then we show this title here. If it is false, we do not show this title. So let me run this in mobile. So let me launch the emulator and let me stop this, and let's run this in mobile application. It's building, it's running. Now you can see that we have a app bar which was not present when it was running on web. Okay, let me stop this, run it with web again. So this is how easy it is to run Flutter applications on web, and it is even easier to make the designs responsive. You can make many decisions. So based on the size, in order to make responsive, I'm just changing the column count in the grid here. However, what you can do is, based on the screen width, you can display totally different widgets. So let's say maybe in desktop, while we are in a grid, in desktop we may want to show it in a vertical card instead of this horizontal card. Then you can do that as well. So you can make any decisions, you can change any widgets, anything based on the screen size, screen orientation, and lots of other features. And here I'm using responsive builder to make it easier. You can do the same thing using the sizing info. This size info we can also get it from media query. You can find it in various basic videos of Flutter. Thank you everyone for watching this tutorial. In this tutorial, we learned how to get started with Flutter for web, and also how to make our designs responsive. I gave you the basic idea of how to make it responsive, how to adapt it to changing device sizes and orientation, so that you can use it and apply it in your application. Thank you.